Hi guys, sorry, Dana here. And today we are talking about a very interesting topic, or a very scary one, depending on, what you know about it and how you feel about the environment. But today we are going to make it clear no matter what. How are you doing today, guys? What do you feel about the environment? Is it the most, I don't know, fearful, the scariest topic ever, or are you absolutely okay with it? What do you think? Give me something. Give me some feedback on it. Right, a very interesting name. I will try to pronounce it. Mathieu Ball better than Gucci, right? That's pretty cool. That's a cool name. Right, so you're absolutely okay with this topic. That's nice to hear. And you're fine. All right. Daniel, hi. What do you think? Is the environment the worst topic ever, or is it just fine? Oh, it's a bad joke. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry, I didn't know that joke. Okay, maybe I'm too old for that joke. Okay, I will not pronounce it. Okay. Okay, so it's probably the worst topic ever. Okay, well, let's see. Let's see what we can do with that, right? Let's see how we can work with it today so that it seems a bit easier for you, or maybe at least a bit more interesting, right? Before we get to the topic, let's I don't know, get familiar, right? If you don't know me, my name is Dana, and I am a senior methodologist and teacher at the online school Учёба.ru. I graduated from MSLU, which is Moscow State Linguistic University, Faculty of the English Language, my favorite language in the whole wide world. Right, I also got 100 points for ЕГЭ, right, on English, which, well, seems to be the most important fact for a lot of students. I also have an international teacher's certificate, so absolutely equipped to teach you, right? I am in love with this language, and I hope that you can fall a little bit in love with it too. I can also design a flat for you, but just a random fact about me to make me more of a person than just a teacher. I'm not alone today, right? I'm with the online school Учёба.ру, and here on the slide you can see some facts about the school as well, right? 5,000 graduates got 80 plus points with us for ЕГЭ and 5 for ОГЭ, right? Which is pretty impressive, right? This year, by the way, we also got lots of fives for ОГЭ in English and, well, some good results on ЕГЭ as well. We have a modern platform for learning so that you don't get bored, right? And, we can use all the technologies that this world has to offer. 50 experienced, cool, and beautiful methodologists and teachers are working for you to take care of all your needs, right? And to get you ready for the exam that seems to be a very important step in your whole life, I guess, right? I don't really like that idea, but well, a lot of students feel that way, so we are just here to help you through this very tough period. And guys, we're ready, right? This is our plan for today. There were more points on it, but then I really got into, the environmental issues, and I understood how many things there are there, right? And so I deleted, weather and, the natural world, like animals and plants, from this particular presentation because I really wanted us to focus on the environmental issues, right, the problems and their solutions. Because, well, we all like monkeys and birds and, weather, but nobody likes environmental issues. So today we are going to focus on them, right? And on the solutions that there are nowadays in the world to kind of solve those problems, or at least try to solve them. Let's have a look at the first one, right? So the first one, and I guess the most popular one, right, is the climate change. The phrase climate change doesn't really mean the rise in temperatures, right? So climate change could mean different changes, right? From zero to colder temperatures and to higher temperatures. But nowadays, because of the global warming, because of all the problems that we have right now, climate change does tend to mean kind of the same thing as global warming, although the words themselves don't mean the same thing. On the slide in the picture, you can see climate justice now, right? That's one of the slogans for, people who are fighting everybody, right? From green initiatives and eco volunteers. Um, that's just one of the slogans that they have for, I don't know, fighting for, well, climate justice, right? For the climate change to be recognized as a worldwide problem and to be dealt with, basically. Well, climate change is one of the most popular and common problems that are being discussed right now in the world. Global warming, and a very scary picture here. It is actually a photo, and well, this did happen. This is the United States, and well, it's a real life photo, which is scary itself, right? There was a huge time period where the sky looked like this because of all the fires everywhere around the California state. So yeah, that's just one of the things that global warming leads to, right? Fires. So yeah, global warming is the rise in the temperatures, right, all around the world, and well, it is happening right now, which isn't funny, but a lot of people don't believe that it's a problem. So there is an opinion that global warming is not really a problem, that it is happening, but it's nothing bad, right? So you know, difference of opinions is absolutely everywhere, and in this topic as well. You should read yourself on the issue to understand how you feel about it, right? What you believe and what you think is adequate, and the truth, right? That's what we have right now, right? We just have to think, all of us, right, for ourselves. All right. Some lingo, right? Some words for you that are very important here are in bold: burning fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are, well, fuels like oil, gas, and coal, right? Those are natural resources, but burning them is considered very dangerous right now. We get all kinds of energy from these sources, from fossil fuels, and that is a good thing. But everything else that happens around burning fossil fuels is considered very dangerous for, well, the planet, right? For people, for animals, for plants, for the whole of the environment. Uh, and well, right here, right, kind of a solution, right? So fossil fuels versus alternative energy or renewable energy sources. You can see one of them on the in the picture on the right. Yeah, and those renewable energy sources, well, wind energy, solar. Solar comes from the sun, right? So those are solar panels. Hydro power, which comes from, I'm not a biologist or a chemist or even an environmental expert, right? But from what I understand, hydropower comes from using rivers and other water sources, right, to kind of derive energy from that. And well, ocean energy, right? Ocean energy comes from doing the same thing, but to, the currents of the ocean. When there is like more water, less water, right? That's a current. So yeah, you can somehow, that seems like magic to me, but you can somehow derive energy from that too. And those sources are considered alternative or renewable. That's what they're called. Renewable because, well, they are kind of endless, right? Or at least they are considered endless right now because, the wind is always there, the sun is almost always there, right? And well, the oceans always work. So that energy is renewable because you can renew it, right? You use it and it's still there. Unlike fossil fuels, right? Because oil, gas, and coal, they are natural resources, but there is a limited amount of them on our planet. So burning them is considered dangerous not only because, there isn't a limitless supply of them, but also because this happens when we do that. When people burn fossil fuels, there are a lot of gases emitted into the atmosphere, right? And that is very dangerous again for a number of reasons. Here on the slide, you can see again some words that you might need while discussing the topic of the environment, right? Greenhouse gases or greenhouse effect. Greenhouse effect, right? You might hear this instead of greenhouse gases, but well, the gases are the gases, yeah, like CO2 or carbon dioxide. That is the same thing, right? Please note the pronunciation, right? Carbon dioxide. And well, methane, right? Both of these gases are considered greenhouse gases. In the picture here, you can see a greenhouse, right? And well, they are called greenhouse gases because that's what they kind of produce, right? Greenhouse effect. They can't leave the atmosphere, which leads to global warming because they kind of warm the whole planet because there is, too much of this gas, and so it can't leave the atmosphere and it warms the whole planet and leads to global warming, right? And greenhouse gases are emitted while people burn fossil fuels to extract energy from that process. So I know this sounds very complicated. It is actually more complicated than this, but this is kind of like the amount that I could understand, right? So that I could tell you. But you don't really have to understand like the whole process, how it works. You need to remember the words, right? You need to understand what they mean and how they're connected. Yeah. So burning fossil fuels leads to emission of greenhouse gases, which leads to global warming, right? And that is a problem. Um, Carbon dioxide is actually a gas that everybody emits, right? We emit this gas by just breathing, right? So there is nothing bad in the fact that we're breathing, of course, but when those emissions are increased, so when there are like a lot of them, that is a problem, right? So don't stop breathing. That's okay. But maybe we should consider, alternative energy sources so that we don't emit too much of this gas. Oh my God, we have a person here who is studying to be an ecologist. Wow. All right, that is pretty cool. I hope I'm saying everything right because, you're the expert. That's amazing. Yeah, congratulations, by the way. That's a pretty cool profession to have, right? And it is very, very topical, right? So you will definitely have a lot of, jobs to choose from, right? Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, guys, one more thing about carbon dioxide and all these greenhouse gases. There is one more phrase that we should know. We should know what it means and how to use it in our own speech, right? Carbon footprint. Footprint, this word, basically, literally means this, right? Something that we leave behind when, uh, sorry, when we walk, right? And so carbon footprint is the total amount of greenhouse gases that are generated by, well, our actions, right? By everything that we do. That is our carbon footprint, the total amount of gases that we kind of like produce. Yeah, because we use something, because we breathe, of course, because we fly somewhere, because we use the energy that is produced by burning fossil fuels, right? That is also kind of our responsibility, right? And well, here you can say an example, right, of how we use carbon footprint in a sentence. More businesses try to dispose of waste in a more responsible way to reduce their carbon footprint. First of all, let's focus on the second part. To reduce our carbon footprint, what does it mean? To reduce is to make smaller, right? So to kind of be more responsible, right, and leave less carbon dioxide behind, basically, right? And to dispose of waste, well, means to throw something away, right? Uh, of course, we throw, I don't know, what do we throw away? Like pencils and, food packages. That is bad too, right? But, well, businesses throw away so much more things, so many more things, right? So for them, it's kind of like very important, right, to dispose of waste in a right way, right, in a more responsible way, so that they don't harm the environment by just throwing things away the way it is, I don't know, convenient for them, right, or cheaper for them. Because of course, disposing of waste in a responsible way means extra expenses, right? Extra equipment. And so that's sometimes, not sometimes, that is always more expensive than just throwing something away, I don't know, in a river or dumping it into the ocean, right? But, a lot of businesses nowadays try to be more eco-friendly, right? Try to be more responsible about the way they produce things and dispose of things. So to reduce our carbon footprint, that is a very good collocation. You should use it if you get to talk about the environment at the exam, right? Because do we have any questions about the words, about how to use them so far? Yes, no in the chat. I will be very grateful. Anything? Okay, I got a no. That's good. Hope you got everything, right? Okay, then we're moving on, right? If you have any questions, just, drop them in the comments and I will get back to them. Okay, so another environmental issue, which is actually also connected to CO2 emissions or carbon dioxide emissions or greenhouse gases emissions, right? Ocean acidification. Uh, Basically, it means that the ocean is changing, right? Because the ocean kind of absorbs a lot of these greenhouse gases, right? It absorbs them and the ecosystem changes, which is, well, quite dangerous, right? At least for the wildlife that lives in the ocean. And, well, because of that, right, the whole of the ecosystem may change. And that, well, that is dangerous, right? Because we don't know what it will lead to. Well, I guess that a lot of people do know what it will lead to, right? Like scientists and environmental experts, but what they're saying is not really good, right? It's not positive or no rainbows there, right? So ocean acidification is one of the environmental issues that is quite topical nowadays because, again, of those CO2 emissions into the atmosphere and the fact that CO2 can't leave the atmosphere and, you know, global warming, ocean acidification, both of those are, you know, results, consequences of us people, right, emitting too much CO2 by, again, burning fossil fuels, right, by agriculture, right? So all those animals that live on farms, they also emit CO2. And then the process of, you know, producing meat from them, the whole process, right? Everybody emits CO2 and there's too much of it, and that leads to environmental issues. Next, right, this word, I wanted to focus on it for a little while. Let's focus on the word, not on the concept for now. Glacier or glacier, right? Both are okay, but you do need to pronounce this word correctly, right? Glacier or glacier. Melting, right? The fact that they're melting is, again, bad, right? And that is the consequence of global warming, right? So glacier melting is the consequence of global warming. Global warming is the consequence of CO2 emissions, right? So they're all connected, of course, like everything in life is connected. All the environmental issues are connected as well, right? Melting means they are not ice anymore, right? They become liquid, which is bad. Of course, not like that, yeah, but still, there are less and less, you know, like they are, I think they are measured in like centimeters or something. And well, you know, stereo quiz may help me here. You know more about this than me for sure. But you know, the fact that the glaciers are melting where they shouldn't be, right? That is bad. That is another environmental issue, which is a consequence of global warming, right? That is actually one of the things that you know contributes to the idea that global warming is a problem, right? And that it is happening. The fact that glaciers are melting. Right. Another problem is deforestation. And well, again, a lot of things are connected to deforestation. Deforestation means, you know, cutting out whole forests, right? And changing the land use, right? So how we use the land. It was a forest, then all the trees were cut down, and now it's something else. Yeah, now it's a city, a factory, a whatever, right? Deforestation leads to a lot of different problems. Um, I guess the most obvious one is the fact that, you know, in forests, who lives in forests? Animals live in forests, right? And a lot of plants live in forests too. And when the forest is cut down, they have nowhere to go. And so that leads to endangered species, right, and to extinct species, right, to the extinction of particular animals and particular plants. We will talk about all of those magical words that I just pronounced as well. But deforestation is cutting down the trees, right, cutting down whole forests. Right. Deforestation leads to biodiversity loss. What does it mean? Biodiversity is basically all the natural world, yeah, animals, plants, loss. Well, the fact that we don't have some of them anymore, right? Land use change. It was a forest, now it's a city, right? That's a land use change, and the land use change leads to biodiversity loss because all the species don't have anywhere to go after their forest has been cut down. They can't adapt to new factors, right? To a new environment, so they just die out. Unfortunately, that's like one of the most depressing things, I guess, right? Let's have a look at all the types, right? Endangered animals and endangered plants are the ones that are not lost yet, but that are very close to it. Seahorses, for example, right here, you can see a picture, right? Seahorses are now an endangered species, unfortunately. So we are very close to losing. Oh my God, I have goosebumps all over my body. We are now very close to losing a whole species to the past, to history. Like it's not going to exist anymore. That is the most depressing thing ever, I think. I don't know. I try to be more about the English, but still, it kind of weighs on me because it's a whole species, right? Species is kind of like a type of animal, right, or a type of plant. Species or species. Let's stick to English, right? This word. Here it is again, right? Species or species. Both are okay again, but yeah, you do have to pronounce it correctly. Another very good collocation here: to be on the brink of extinction. Endangered animals are on the brink of extinction, right? At least some of them. On the brink of extinction means very close to extinction. And extinction is a state when something does not exist anymore. Yeah. Extinct animals and plants, extinct species. Those are the ones that do not exist in this world anymore. They have died out, and now we don't have even one, animal of this species. For example, Western black rhino. I'm not sure that this is the Western black rhino in the picture, but Western black rhino is only one of the whole rhino family, right? And well, unfortunately, this particular type, this particular species is extinct. It's called a subspecies, as I remember. Western black rhino. Just you can't see them anymore in this world because they don't live here anymore. And that is, yeah, that is pretty depressing. Right, so a lot of good words here, right? A lot of bad concepts, but a lot of good words. Please do remember them, right? Land use change leads to biodiversity loss, and endangered animals, endangered species, extinct species, and to be on the brink of extinction. Very good phrases to use during, the speaking part and the written part in your, well, maybe not in your email, but again, your friend can ask about the environment, right, in their email, and you might want to use one of these words. They will be very useful if you have this topic in task 38, right, in the written statement at the exam. All right, moving on. Another problem, plastic pollution, right? We use and we produce a lot of plastic waste, which is, well, a whole issue that can be discussed in, like, I don't know, for a long time, right? But just accept that plastic pollution is a very big environmental issue, right? The fact that plastic is everywhere, it gets into the ocean, it's just lying there on the beaches, right? That is a very bad thing because plastic cannot really. Mm, change into soil. Yeah, like food waste can in good circumstances, right, where all the factors line up. Plastic does not do that, so it just lies there and it contaminates the whole area, right? Contaminate is to pollute, right? Contaminate, another very good word. Contaminate or sorry, contaminate or pollute, right? We are going to have a look at a small word formation bonus here on the topic of pollution. But, for now, contamination or pollution, to contaminate or to pollute. Air pollution, yeah, again, all the factories and burning fossil fuels, all of that leads to air pollution. Yeah, and that is another huge environmental issue that we do have to deal with. Air pollution. You can actually put anything in front of pollution. Yeah, water pollution, air pollution, ocean pollution, right? Right, word formation, yeah, for you. Pollute is a verb, right? Here you can see an example of how to use this verb. This company pollutes the environment. Well, they do something, right? They produce something that is very harmful for the environment, or they don't dispose of their waste in a responsible way. So, yeah, the company pollutes the environment. Pollution is a noun, right? And it is uncountable. Uncountable, right? Let's see, this is a U. Yeah, uncountable. Air pollution is the most urgent problem right now, right? For example, just an example, right? That's not the truth, it's just the example. Air pollution, water pollution, whatever pollution, right? Pollutant is another noun in this word family, but it does mean a different thing, right? Pollution is the concept, right? Pollutant is the actual chemical that pollutes the area, pollutes the river, pollutes the water, pollutes the environment. This chemical is the main water pollutant in the area, right? So pollutant is the substance or a gas or whatever, right, that does harm to the environment. Yeah, and pollution is the whole concept. Yeah, air pollution. And an adjective here as well, polluted, right? The river is polluted. Yeah, a polluted area. For words, right? One stem word, pollute. These will be useful for 25 through 29 and will, of course, for your own speech, for the written part and for the speaking part. All right, moving on. Right, here are just some other words, right, that I wanted you to remember. Hazardous waste. Hazardous is kind of a smart word for dangerous, right? Hazardous waste. Dangerous waste. So dangerous stuff that somebody, usually a company or I don't know, country maybe, try to dispose of, but maybe not in the right way, right? So hazardous waste is dangerous waste, right? Waste disposal is, well, the process of disposing of waste, right? Dispose is a verb. Dispose. Dispose is a verb, right? And disposal is a noun. Mm-hmm. And food waste. We could talk about food waste for a while here too. I didn't want to do that, but food waste can also be pretty dangerous, right? Especially because there is too much of it, right? There's too much of food waste, and so it all gets into chemical reactions with itself and with other chemicals around it on like landmines, right? So that is also very dangerous, and that is also an environmental issue, right? Too much food waste and basically just wrong way of disposing of this waste, right? Burning food waste, for example, is not a good idea, right? And because again, it gets into chemical reactions and it emits a lot of dangerous gases into the atmosphere, right? All right, guys, a couple of slides um, on the school, right, in Russian for you. Okay, let's try to switch a little bit back to Russian. I will tell you a couple of words on how to study with us, right, and what it all looks like. Так вот, современная платформа для подготовки, да, у вас есть профиль на сайте, у вас есть профиль в телефоне, где у вас есть абсолютно вся нужная информация для обучения по каждому из предметов, на которые вы к нам записались, что супер удобно, потому что все в одном месте. Интерактивные видеоуроки — это база, которую вы получаете на наших занятиях. Это всегда понятная теория вместе с конспектом в маленьких видосиках, на которые разделен весь наш урок. Да? Вот здесь, вот если посмотреть, сейчас, вот тут написано 8 минут. 8 минут — это, конечно, не весь урок, да, это короткий видос по определенной теме узкой, чтобы вы могли сконцентрироваться на ней, понять ее, потом вот здесь отпрактиковать в заданиях под видосиком, а только потом перейти к следующему маленькому шажочку, который мы для вас разделили. Да, это, собственно, слайд с телефона. С телефона тоже можно смотреть уроки, что довольно удобно. Идем дальше. Практические семинары. Да, конечно, на заданиях под видосиками практика не заканчивается. После того, как вы посмотрели теорию, вы идете в практический семинар в другой день обычно, потому что, мы не хотим вас тут на целый день запрягать учебой, но практические семинары — это живое общение с преподавателями, что очень важно, да, особенно для практики английского. Невозможно выучить язык, не разговаривая на нем. Поэтому на практических семинарах мы всегда очень за то, чтобы студенты общались, да, друг с другом, с преподавателем. Мы всегда очень настаиваем на том, что вам нужен микрофон, да, вы не можете просто сидеть и слушать. Ну, вы можете, конечно, в теории, но тогда вы получаете, 30% от того, что вы могли взять, да, а мы очень любим давать. Я очень люблю давать, поэтому очень хочется всегда дать вам как можно больше шансов поговорить, пообщаться на английском. И это очень важно. Да. На этих же практических семинарах мы разбираем все задания, разбираем их в теории, вот в этих маленьких видосиках, да, а на занятия вы уже приходите потренироваться, задать все свои вопросы, получить на них ответы. И такие занятия всегда проходят в небольших группах. Домашки. Домашки — это тоже супер. Мы всегда просим делать домашку до семинара, да, чтобы вы уже смогли сами с собой пообщаться, да, и понять, где у вас пробелы, где у вас проблемы, где у вас вопросы, а на семинар уже прийти с готовыми своими вопросами, чтобы их прояснить с преподавателем вживую. Вот, подробный фидбэк у нас всегда есть в домашках, да, вы видите всегда решение, вне зависимости от того, правильно вы ответили на вопрос или неверно, правильно или неверно. Ну, в общем, по сути, все верно. Вот. С быстрой проверкой домашка, если там короткий ответ или выбор ответа, если там какое-то задание в стиле 38-го рейтинга, например, да, то тогда вам нужно будет чуть подождать результаты. Преподаватель проверит, напишет вам подробный фидбэк, отправит, и вы получите обновление своей домашки, своих результатов. Ежемесячные пробники мы проводим в годовом курсе обязательно. На летней школе сейчас у нас пробник в начале и в конце, потому что летняя школа длится всего лето, да. Но да, пробники — это очень важный этап в подготовке к любому экзамену, да, потому что чем больше вы тренируетесь в конкретном формате, чем больше вы смотрите на различные задания, тем ну, во-первых, тем спокойнее вам, да, на экзамене, а во-вторых, тем больше вы, ну, нарабатываете, да, вот этот навык. Это очень важно, и мы всегда очень-очень просим студентов выполнять их и выполнять их вовремя. Удобное расписание и список дел. Да, говорила про профиль, да, на сайте. Вот так он выглядит с телефона. На каждую неделю у вас открывается текущая, да, но вы можете посмотреть как вперед, так и назад, какие были занятия, какие у вас были задания, что вы пропустили, что у вас впереди. Очень удобно, чтобы спланировать, да, свои дни, спланировать свою неделю. И все предметы разными цветами выделены для удобства. Да, вот литература синенькая, химия зелененькая, математика желтенькая, английский розовенький. Мы всегда на связи, конечно. Я очень счастлива и рада получать все вопросы, да, помогать вам разбираться в каких-то темах, которые, может быть, у вас зависают уже какое-то время. Это всегда огромная радость, если я могу помочь лично. Если вы пишете со своими вопросами, я абсолютно счастлива. Вот. Так что да, мы всегда на связи в течение курса и после. На самом деле тоже очень рады слышать от вас и фидбэк, и вопросы, может быть, какие-то оставшиеся по предмету, если вы продолжаете его изучать. Это всегда большая радость для нас. Система уведомлений, да, чтобы вы ничего не забывали, да. Ну, ее можно включить, если вам нравятся уведомления, если они вам помогают, или также выключить, да, если у вас слишком много уведомлений, например. Мне кажется, что в современном мире это довольно-таки проблематично. Um, Moving on, right? Only like 2 or 3 slides left, guys. And now we're talking about something good for once, right? We're talking about those solutions to problems that we have discussed with you today. So, zero waste is kind of an initiative, right? Or you could say it's a way of living, right? Zero waste means that you try to use less plastic altogether, right? So you don't buy a plastic bottle, for example, if you want to drink water, but you, I don't know, come into a restaurant and you ask for a glass of water, right? So you don't use as much plastic as, we all do. We all do use too much plastic. So zero waste, yeah, is about more reusable materials, using more reusable things, right? Not throwing away old clothes, but maybe, selling them, giving them away to charities, maybe somehow changing them so that you can still wear them. So it's not only about plastic, it's about absolutely everything, right? Reusing things instead of throwing them away, right? Zero waste, meaning, well, no waste, right? Next one is recycling, right? Recycling is basically changing waste, right? Transforming it into new materials. So something that was trash now isn't, right? And well, I'm not sure about like the whole of Russia, but in Moscow we do have recycling bins everywhere, and you can recycle a lot of materials like glass, paper, some kind of plastic, not all the kinds, but still. Um, do you recycle, guys? Can you please write in the comments if you yourself recycle, or maybe your family does? Plus or minus in the chat, could you drop it, please? Plus if you recycle, minus if you don't recycle plastic, glass, or paper. Got it. Not really. That's kind of sad. No. Okay. All right. Well, guys, I hope that maybe I will inspire you to read a little bit more about it, right? Find out if your city or your town recycles, right? And how you yourself can contribute to that beautiful process that fights, environmental issues. Upcycling is another very interesting thing. Upcycling means creative reuse, right, of things. Here in the picture, you can see different examples of upcycling, right? When you upcycle, you basically take one thing and use it as something else, right? You might change it somehow, right? Transform it somehow and use it for something else. For example, here you can say, an old television, right? That nobody needs anymore, of course, but people made a cat house for a cat, right? Out of this old TV. So things like that are called upcycling, right? When you take an old thing and you find a new way to use it. All right, next one, sustainable. Sustainable is a very cool word for the topic of the environment. You should definitely remember it. You should write it down. Sustainable basically means eco-friendly and the one that lasts, right? Sustainable businesses and sustainable homes, sustainable houses, sustainable anything, right? That means that they contribute less to environmental problems and more to eco-friendly solutions, right? IKEA, for example, is a good example of a sustainable business, right? Because the whole company tries to be more eco-friendly, right? And they don't contribute to, environmental issues. They don't dispose of their waste the wrong way, right? They try to use plastic, recycled plastic, right, in their products. They try to recycle everything that they produce. So that is a sustainable business, right? The one that tries to be more eco-friendly, environmentally friendly. Yeah. Okay. Affordable and clean energy, right? We did talk a lot about fossil fuels today and about renewable energy sources. Well, clean energy is, of course, the energy that is um, that is, you know, uh, what do we do with energy that is produced, right? We produce energy that is produced without burning fossil fuels, right? Without emitting a lot of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. And well, making them affordable is very important in this battle for our planet, right? Affordable means that it is not too expensive, right? That a lot of people can use this clean energy instead of, burning coal and oil because it's just cheaper. Next one, conservation. Conservation is the protection, right, of animals and plants, especially endangered animals and plants, and especially from, well, the effect of human activity, right, the effect of our actions. Um, a lot of conservation initiatives create nature reserves. Nature reserves are special places, right, for animals and for plants where they can still live freely, but where they are protected from, well, basically from people, unfortunately, right, from all the bad consequences of our actions, right, and of the way that we live. Do we have any questions, guys, about the solutions, maybe? They are, of course, as important to understand as, environmental issues, because a lot of speaking three tasks, right, where you have to answer questions, um, they are formed on this topic, right? And they do want you to think about this topic, not just remember some words, but actually to think. So what I do recommend is reading on this topic, right? Choose maybe, I don't know, at least one, right, subtopic, like what do you care about? Do you care about waste disposal, the fact that we use too much plastic? Or maybe you care about, I don't know, animals, right, that are dying out? Read about that, read about conservation initiatives, read about nature reserves, right, and how you can help. If you read a little bit about it in English, you will be more equipped, right? You will be more ready for the questions at the exam. If, again, if you get them at YEGA. or OGE, by the way. At OGE, you might also get this topic of the environment, right? But my most useful advice that I can give you is just read about it, right? Get interested, because this topic is not easy vocabulary wise, but it can be very interesting if you just get a little bit passionate about it, right? Okay, congratulations. Now you know more, right? I hope this did help. I hope that now you are less scared of this topic and maybe a little bit more interested. What do you say? Can you give me, I don't know, a number? How interested you are now? Is it still a 0, or is it maybe a 5 out of 10? Maybe it's a 10 out of 10. What do you say? Did I maybe inspire you a little while? Maybe you were at 1, now you're at 2. That is a good result for me as well. 7 out of 10. Right, that's a very good result. I love it. Okay, anyone else? Okay, I'll take 7. 7 is good. I love it. I did. Yay. All right. Happy to hear that. Guys, a couple of other slides, right, on our school. Right now, we are having a summer school. This is kind of like a summer camp, but in English, and you get 2 live seminars, right, at this summer school. Переходите, пожалуйста, по ссылочке под этим видео, да, чтобы записаться. В летней школе она идет прямо сейчас, и ОГЭ, и ЕГЭ. Мы делаем тот самый первый залет на нашу соточку, разбираемся в определенных заданиях. Не во всех, мы не будем грузить вас всеми заданиями экзамена летом, да, но это очень продуктивно, особенно в ОГЭ сейчас мы фокусимся на спикинговой практике, в ЕГЭ мы фокусимся сейчас на грамматике, да, чтобы вы пришли уже в год, в годовую подготовку, ну, не с ноликом, да, забытым после лета, а с чем-то уже, ну, с базой такой хорошей, да, и вы уже знаете весь формат экзамена, вы знакомы с ним. Это супер здорово, очень советую не упускать эту возможность. Это всего 2 занятия в неделю, да, каждый из них по 1,5 часа. У вас, конечно, есть домашка, которую я всегда очень советую делать, потому что домашка закрепляет то, что вы изучили, закрепляет ваш результат. Это супер здорово. Вот, но это все еще не отнимает у вас все лето. Поэтому очень советую записаться. Скидки сейчас все еще действуют. Ссылочка, опять же, под видосиком. У нас также, да, все еще работает экспертное сопровождение при поступлении в ВУЗ. Если вы все еще страдаете с сайтами, которые не хотят работать, с информацией, которую невозможно собрать, обращайтесь, пожалуйста. У нас прекрасная программа, которая поможет вам на всех этапах поступления в университет. Ну и да, пожалуйста, поставьте нам лайк, если вам понравилось это видео. Подпишитесь на наш канал, чтобы видеть больше наших видосиков. Мы будем счастливы от количества вас, которым мы можем дарить приятные и полезные материалы, а YouTube-алгоритмы будут счастливо показывать нас вам. Спасибо большое за сегодня. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for participating and for listening to me babble here, right? I hope this was useful and I hope to see you, well, right back here, right? Have a nice day, guys. I hope to see you again. Bye.